The first Super Bowl I ever covered was January 18th of 1976. It was Super Bowl 10, the first Dallas-Pittsburgh Super Bowl, way before your time.
Old Tulane Stadium?
No, it was in Miami at the Orange Bowl, back in your stomping grounds. And all these games I've seen since then, I've never seen anything like that game. And all the great games in other sports I covered, the U.S. upset of the Soviets in the 1980 Olympic hockey game in Lake Placid, I was there. The Montana to Dwight Clark, the catch game, Candlestick at the end of the 1981 season, I was there. The Kirk Gibson walk-off with 2 down in the 9th to beat the vaunted Oakland A's and Dennis Eckersley, I was there. And yet I've never seen anything like this. This was the most amazing game I've ever witnessed. And maybe I'm being a little prisoner of the moment, but I don't think so. It's starting to sink in. That was the most improbable comeback in all of sports history, where there was no way, because the New England Patriots of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick were all-time bad, followed by all-time great. All-time great. And I did say that back when we launched the show on September 6th. I said, this is going to be the year, Brady. He's going to be the Super Bowl MVP, but not in my wildest dreams or nightmares did I ever see it happening like that happened. And I'm ready to plunge and go this far, and we'll talk about this throughout the show. But for me, I'm the biggest Michael Jordan fan on the planet, but now I have to be objective. I believe that last night, Tom Brady didn't just eclipse the great Joe Montana within the confines of Super Bowl and NFL. I believe last night, Tom Brady eclipsed the man, MJ, Michael Jordan, as the greatest clutch player in all of sports history. When you look at his Super Bowl resume, and we'll get into it more in detail later, but what he pulled off last night was flat out impossible, seriously impossible. And I kept thinking of you, and I knew you were celebrating because you want to talk about deflated. I was deflated. And when Tom Brady threw a pick six late in the second quarter that made it 21-0, I said, game over. There's no way. The Falcons are too explosive on offense. They're going to have the ball too many times in the second half. There's no way Brady can pull that off. And then, for sure, it was game over when the Falcons scored to make it 28-3 with 8:31 left in the third quarter. 28-3? Were you not game over at that point?
Yeah, I really did. I thought that was the dagger. Excuse me. I thought that was the dagger. And in talking to all the guys, because obviously we were the historically black college Pro Football Hall of Famers were honored, and everybody in there thought it was over. Jackie Slater was also in there. His son Matthew plays for the Patriots. And he was just like, I did not see this coming. I did not see this happening like this.
So at that point, I gave up on the game a little bit. I started playing with Hazel, my little Maltese, for a while because I hadn't seen her for a week. You know, I did. I used her. I used her for a little good. I brought her into my viewing room to change the fortunes and the luck of the game. But I started to process, how are we going to explain that Tom Brady just played his first ugly Super Bowl with an ugly loss to fall to 4-3 in Super Bowls? And I thought, this is going to be tough. And at that point, Shannon Sharpe, help me out here. New England could not run the ball or stop the run. Am I right about that?
Yes.
And at that point, the new improved New England offensive line with Dante Scarnecchia coming back out of retirement to coach it, it looked even worse than it did at Denver a year ago. They couldn't block anybody. And Tom Brady, as we just heard him say, was getting the you-know-what knocked out of him. And he was losing a little bit of poise and a little bit of accuracy, because he is human now.
Yes.
And he was getting hit so hard that he was getting a little gun shy, and he missed 3 or 4 throws, a couple to Edelman, where I thought, what are you doing? Not to mention, they had dropped 3 balls. Gostkowski had missed it, just clanked an extra point off the right upright.
You thought it was Denver all over again.
Yeah, it was Denver all over again. And LeGarrette Blount had blown the potential early lead with the fumble where he got stripped by Deion Jones. And I thought we were looking at 42-10 at that point, seriously. And then this happened. Tom Brady turned back into Tom Brady, and Matt Ryan turned back into Matt Ryan. That guy that I told you all last week, we had great shows in Houston. Thank you, Houston. but I kept saying, I just don't believe in this guy to this level. And when it was time, when the money was on the table, Brady was Brady and Matt Ryan was Matt Ryan. And when he got strip sacked, that was at, I think, 28-12, 8:31 to go in the fourth quarter. And there was that little shot, if we could see it, of Brady on the sideline. Wait, guess who that guy is? Guess who that guy is? That's Psycho Tom. That's the guy when I see him emerge, it's like the little kid comes out of him, but it's like a crazed little kid. And he does his little half pirouette, unathletic jump on the sideline. And you say, uh-oh, here he comes. And from that moment on, the stats, think of these. From 28-3 down, he goes 26 of 33 for 284 with 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. New England from that point had 338 total yards to 69 for Matt Ryan and company, and just took over the football game. Tom Brady rose above that game and took it over the way nobody in the history of the NFL could do. And in the end, he did get to watch Roger Goodell present that trophy to Bob Kraft, who just delighted in it. He just reveled in it, right? Sweetest ever, right? And Tom Brady did accept the handshake from Roger Goodell because he's a classy individual, and he wasn't going to leave him hanging on that one, though I wish he would have. And in the end,
come on now.
Well, seriously,
not on that stage.
Not on that stage. But in the end, Tom Brady managed to beat Roger Goodell by not only saving his legacy that Roger attempted to tarnish, if not wreck, but he enhanced it last night by starting off so poorly and finishing so all-time great.